Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show, man. Today is August the 14th. This show will be for the August 15th games. Tomorrow in the W, I think it's 5 games. So haven't been live in a while. Figured I'd go live, kind of catch up with the guys, see what plays you guys are liking for tomorrow, and get through the slate. I'm gonna try to be pretty efficient. It's 9:21 Eastern Standard Time right now. I'm gonna try to be done by 10. So we got about 38 minutes and some change to break down and get through these games. That should be more than enough time. A couple bets I placed already. A couple I got kind of loaded in the chamber, and I kind of want to see where the lines go. One of them moving in a direction that I don't agree with, and we'll talk about that. I didn't really look in too much into player props, but if you guys got player prop looks, let me know what they are, and we can look through them. I didn't bet anything. Well, I didn't send any bets out yesterday. I may have to not stop sending out bets because I feel like when I send out bets, the bets that I send out don't be hitting. When I'm just playing, it seems like they be cashing. So we'll see. WNBA been up and down for sure. I'm still down about 10 units on the season. On the as far as like plays, official plays, but yesterday was a good day, man. Golden State plus the 2. I talked about it. If you guys had a chance to watch the show, Aces on the money line. Talked about it on the show. Not sure if Marina Mabry went up and over a 3-point prop. I'm not sure if she did. I know Tiffany Hayes cashed her points, rebounds, and assists. We talked about, and I like Alicia Gray over her 20 and a half points and assists, and she crushed that line. She went over it in just points alone. So it's a pretty good day if you got a chance to check out the show yesterday. We'll go through a couple comments, and then we shall get into it for tomorrow, man. Hit the like button for me if you want to do a brother a favor, man. Let's jump into it. AOD says, Chris, be goated. What up, AOD? Hope all is well, bro. Appreciate you for tapping in as always. What up, Prodigy? Appreciate you for tapping in. Patrick says, let's get this cash, Chris. That's what we here for, man. What's up, Helping Hands? He says, I'm here, gang. Good afternoon, good evening to D Johnson. Helping Hands says, only a few of us, Chris. Let's rock it. Let's do just that. What up, Prolific? Appreciate you for tapping in as well. And D Johnson says, also good slate tomorrow. And I agree. I do like the slate for tomorrow. Like I said, a couple things I played already. Let's just jump into it there. Let's jump into it. All right. So first up, we'll start with JaXon. JaXon is an AI sports betting tool for people that are new to the show. You can use it to help handicap player prop size, totals, over, unders, any sport that you could think of. JaXon will give you some analysis and historical breakdowns and trends and patterns and everything else that you can think of, man. Check JaXon out if you guys have not done so already. There is a link in the description. If you're interested in checking it out for the first time, just keep in mind that whatever tier you select is what you get 50% off of. So you should check if you select the 1 month tier, then you'll get 50% off the first month. You like it, I can't get you 50% off the second one. So just keep that in mind if you are interested in checking out JaXon. As far as player props, JaXon actually been hot lately. Yesterday for last night's games, Alicia Gray over her 25 and a half points, rebounds, and assists is what JaXon like. And Ryan Howard over her 11 and a half points. Both of those were winners. Ryan Howard almost had 12 points in like 30 seconds. She had a couple threes late in that third quarter off a steal. She killed last night. For whatever reason, she kills Seattle every single time they play. And her teammate, Alicia Gray, JaXon like both teammates in that game, and they both went over. All right, so jumping into tomorrow, 1 over, 1 under, 2 best WNBA player props for tomorrow. JaXon likes, let me turn some light on it here. JaXon likes Dearica Hamby over her 16 and a half points tomorrow. I think JaXon liked Dearica Hamby a couple games ago, and she went over as well against the Liberty. Analysis is this. It says Dearica Hamby has been a consistent scoring threat for the Sparks. Her recent form combined with her exceptional historical performance against the Dallas Wings make her a strong, her points prop a strong overplay. So recent form, Hamby has been an excellent scoring form, hitting the over in 60% of her last 5 games, averaging 18.4 points. This trend continues over longer stretches with a 70% hit rate over her last 10 games, averaging 18.9 points, and an impressive 73.33 hit rate over her last 15 games, averaging 19.13 points. Her season average of 17.72, also comfortably above the 16 and a half line number. And then you go to head-to-head dominance. What truly makes this pick compelling is Dearica Hamby's performance against the Dallas Wings in the 2025-2026 season. She has played 1 game against them, hitting over 100% of the time, scoring 20 points in that game. Looking back to last season, she maintained the perfect record, hitting the over in all 4 games against the Dallas Wings, averaging an impressive 22.25 points. This consistent success against Dallas is a significant factor. Matchup analysis: the Dallas Wings ranked 13th against points, which is a below average defense. This doesn't pose a significant threat to Dearica Hamby's scoring prowess, especially given her proven track record against them. So take Dearica Hamby over her 16.5 points. Looks like minus 120 is the line that JaXon is giving me anyway on Caesars, but definitely shop around if you guys are interested in little Dearica Hamby tomorrow. I couldn't talk you off at all. LaRouche can't guard anybody. So, and then Aaliyah Boston under 7.5 boards tomorrow. So Aaliyah Boston's rebound prop presents a strong under opportunity, primarily due to her historical performance against the Washington Mystics. So recent performance, while Boston's overall recent rebound numbers have been mixed, averaging 7.8 rebounds over her last 5 games and 9.5 over her last 10. Her season average of 8.15. Her season average is 8.15 rebounds. However, the head-to-head matchup tells a different story. So against the Washington Mystics, Boston has consistently stayed under the line this season. She's played 2 games against the Mystics, hitting the under in both games, averaging just 4 rebounds. This trend extends back to last season, where she hit the under in 75% of her 4 games, averaging just 5.75 rebounds. These numbers are significantly below the 7.5 line. The Washington Mystics rank 11th against rebounds, which is below average. However, Boston's specific struggle to hit a rebound prop over against them in past matchups are a more critical factor in the general defensive ranking than the general defensive ranking. So JaXon likes Aaliyah Boston under her 7.5 rebounds at plus 115. Looks like on ESPN Bet. So Aaliyah Boston under and Dearica Hamby over. Points for Dearica Hamby over. Aaliyah Boston rebounds under. That is JaXon. Let me guys know. Let me in the comment section. Even if you're watching this back, let me know what you think about those. You plan on Dearica Hamby over her points? She has been crushing. And would you take Aaliyah Boston under on her rebound prop? The Aaliyah Boston one is a little scary because the Mystics gonna miss a ton of shots, in my opinion, and also because the Mystics have a much more softer front line when you don't have Aaliyah Edwards, and you are also going to be without Shakira Austin. She's been rolled out already, so that one's a little scarier for me. But that's what JaXon likes. Let's jump into it. So first game up we got is Sparks and Wings. This line open at 2.5. And I just couldn't cap it quick enough to get a 2.5. But I am involved in this game. I see that the line has changed. So I did these graphics about 3-4 hours ago. So this line has changed a little bit. It looks like this is +4 for the Wings, and the total has actually come down. Crazy to think people are betting the Sparks the Sparks games down, but it kind of makes sense. So let's jump into the matchup. So let's see. Go to my notes. We start with the injury report first and foremost. I did see that Arike Gumbawale got ruled out. So she didn't practice, and then she got ruled out as well. Paige Becker's probable with a back injury. Azure James is probable as well in this game. And I think that's it on the Dallas side of things. And then on the Sparks side of things, I don't think anybody was on the injury report. Cameron Brink, not on the injury report that was reported by Underdog earlier today. So that's the injury report. So I bet the Sparks in this spot. I did get a 3 with the Sparks. I know that they have been so poor defensively. I completely get it. If you don't want to ride with the Sparks, I completely understand. But I think it's a little bit of a letdown spot for the Dallas Wings after they won their last game. The Sparks play really, really good on the road as well. They're 10-5-1 against the spread on the road this season, 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. You're looking at a Dallas team that hasn't played well at home. They are 5-12 at the crib, just 3-7 straight up in their last 10 games. This is the second matchup of the season. The Sparks did win and cover the first matchup of the season, going all the way back to June the 6th. This is when the Sparks were hurt. They weren't playing well, and they were 3-point road favorites, similar to this spot here. And LA has actually played Dallas really good. They won 3 of the last 4 games dating back to last season. They've covered 4 straight against the Dallas Wings as well. And you look at another thing I looked at for the Sparks is they haven't lost back-to-back games since July the 3rd. They're 4-1-1 against the spread in their last 6 games, coming off a loss. That's about 60%, both straight up and against the spread in games versus teams that they've already beaten this season. On the opposite side of the things, the way I was saying that the Wings are a fade, the Wings have been a fade coming off a win. Pretty much, if they've won as a dog, they've been a fade in their next game all season. They're 1-4 straight up, 2-3 against the spread. Defensively, the Wings, after winning as a dog in their most recent game, they've allowed each of their opponents to go up and over their team total, and they're giving up an average of 92 points per game. So even if you don't want to necessarily take the Sparks, minus the points, could not talk anybody off a team total to go up and over. Right now, you can get the Sparks team total. It's at 90.5. And like I said, the Wings giving up about 92 points per game when they're coming off a win as a dog. Every single opponent has gone up and over their team total. When I look at the game from a standing perspective, right, that's important to do as well. Dallas continues to have nothing to play for. They're 9-24 on the season. The Sparks have everything to play for. Total opposite side, right? With Seattle continuing to kind of free fall, just landing straight on their face. Seattle's lost their last 6 games. We'll talk about them a little bit more in just a second. The Sparks are just a half a game behind them now for the last place in the playoff race. So Sparks on the outside looking in. But if the Sparks lose to the Dream tomorrow, then if the Storm lose to the Dream tomorrow, the Sparks will actually jump them. Because the Sparks do own the tiebreaker over the Storm because they beat them 2 times and only lost 1 so far. So the Sparks got everything to play for in this game. If that's not enough motivation, I'm not sure what is for the Sparks, especially coming off a loss against the Liberty where you allow every one of the starters to shoot 50% and give up 104 points. Absolute. They got to come play. They got to come play. Dallas isn't going to have I think that they're going to struggle to get stops. I think they're going to struggle to keep the game close, from an offensive perspective. And I don't think they're going to be able to get enough stops. Even with the win against the Fever in their last game, they're still 8th in defensive rating. They're 11th in points allowed. And this is just in their last 5 games. They're also number 1 in pace. And we know the Sparks want to get up and down the floor. The Sparks on the other side, 2nd in effective field goal percentage, also 2nd in free throw rate. And Dallas is bottom 3 in defensively in all of those categories, in both of those categories as well. So I did play the Sparks minus the 3 here. As far as the total goes, it is a little bit tricky because we know the Sparks have just gone over. Like all they do is play overs. They've gone over 8 of their last 10 games. Can't remember what game it was. I know the Aces game because I was on them. I was on the over in that game and they just scored like 74 points. But outside of that game, I think they had one other game stay under. All their games go up and over the number, and especially a number like 177. They're scoring 190 points in pretty much every single game. But the Dallas Wings offense has struggled. They played 4 of their last 5 games under the total, and they actually haven't gotten to 82 points, more than 82 points, but 3 times in their last 10 games. So their offense has really, really struggled. However, I mean, it's the Sparks defense, right? If there's ever a time that you're going to go up and over your team total and you're going to reverse trend, it would be against, a team that's fast paced, a team that plays absolutely no defense, and no team does that more than the Los Angeles Sparks. So yeah, I think if I'm betting the game, I'm still betting over. Like that's the only way I would be able to look at it is over, in my opinion. So that's my thought process on the total. Player prop wise, probably trying my best to find a way to play Kelsey Plum. She's been really, really good recently as well. So I guess if I had to play a player prop, I'd be looking at Kelsey Plum. I like the De'Erica Hamby look. We'll have to check Azare numbers because she's been cooking recently. But yeah, I think Dallas gets smoked tomorrow. And it could be a Rickea Jackson game as well. Sparks got so many players that can score the basketball now, man. So many players that can score the basketball. But I agree with the line moving. Sparks for me. I bet a -3. Sent it out last night. Let's see what you guys are thinking here. What up, Alex? Appreciate you for tapping in. Van Negro, what's going on, my brother? He says Parlay Friday. No parlays for me, but I hope you cash on all of them that you play. What's up, Mark? Hope all is well. Timeout says don't do it. Mystics offense suck. Boys should be available. And I kind of agree with that too, Timeout. I agree with that. Ken says he grabbed 2.5 early this morning. I didn't even see 2.5. This morning, 2.5s were, it must have came back down to 2.5 because I grabbed the 3 last night. Only when I grabbed the 3, there was a 2.5 left on Hard Rock, but I can't play Hard Rock. So I grabbed the 3. I think they win the game by more than 1 possession. I do think that Brink's going to be in. What up, Money Meats? Appreciate you for tapping in. What's up, Naeli? Hope all is well with you. She says, I stopped watching MLB to come here. Sparks in this game for sure. Likes the -4.5. Nice bounce back spot for him. I agree. Van Negro says, I hit Xander Sealy 3 threes at +210 against my Mystics. And when the bet comes out, I'm riding it again. Yeah, she got another great matchup against the Chicago Sky tomorrow, the team that's the worst three-point defense in the WNBA. Xander Sealy's a shooter, man. I posted about her right before the All-Star break and said she should have been in the three-point contest. Said they left the best shooter out, man. I love Chache is how you think is how you pronounce her first name. Xander Sealy, that's my girl. What up, Free Sauce? Appreciate you for tapping in. Let's see. Free Sauce likes Hamby over 16.5 points. It's over 7 last 7 games against Dallas. Also 7 of her last 10 in general. Nally says, I like Rickea Jackson. Rickea is a bucket. She's such a bucket, man. Mark says, looked at Sparks team total, but 89 is about right in my opinion. They should be able to get there, I think, Mark. I do think so. Brian says, I'll ride with you, Chris. Let's go with the Sparks. Nally says, Rickea Jackson over her points, Plum assists. Azrae Steven over her 1.5 threes. Those all look good to me. Those look good to me for sure. Mark says, caught line early yesterday. Oh, early yesterday morning. Got it. Prolific says, just took the Sparks team total over. Yeah, if the Sparks not going to do anything, they definitely going to score the basketball. Let's move over to the next one. I bet this one too. So we got Valkyrie and hold on real quick. I will say we saw some funny business in this game. So just going back to this game real quick. Let's just look at the numbers real quick. I promise I'll be quickly to do this, but you know, when you handicap a game and everything makes sense, and then something like changes in the formula for this game to go the way that it's supposed to, right? Most of the time it's an injury, somebody gets added, somebody gets traded, somebody gets downgraded. We saw in the last game, the Dallas Wings just beat the Indiana Fever in their last game. And when I handicapped the game, it was without Arike Ogunbowale. Well, it was with Arike Ogunbowale being in. She woke up with some knee soreness or something. She missed the game. And voila, the Dallas Wings look so much better without her. So we'll see if that, is still the case tomorrow. Real quick, without Arike on the floor, they're -6 both ways. With Arike on the floor, they're -6. They have a 103 offensive rating with her on the floor, though. Without Arike, they have a 99 offensive rating. So with Arike on the floor, the offense gets better, the defense gets worse. And with Arike off the floor, the offense gets worse, the defense gets better. So I guess that does say that the game, could potentially go under. It just can't. I on a Friday evening, it's a lot of things I rather do my money than better under in this game with the Sparks plan. So that's my thought process there. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned the Arike look, because I do think the defense gets better, and I do think that they get better shot selection as well. All right, moving over, we got the Valkyries in the sky. This line open 4. I saw 4 anyway, and it looks like it's up to 6.5 now. I didn't think that this one was going to move that much. I really didn't get a chance to check any of these lines. I hadn't checked any of these lines since I've been home. I haven't been home that long. So total is, this is the wrong game. 1 second. What did I say this was? This was 4, and this is 6.5. 6.5. Total is 151. All right, cool. So this is another one that I bet. This is actually a second bet that I made. So when we look at the injury report, I did see that this came out a couple hours ago. So Ariel Atkins will be back after missing the second half because she was ejected. Haley Van Lift is listed as probable as well. And then, of course, there will continue to be no what's the girl name? Angel Reese. No Angel Reese. Angel Reese will continue to be out. It was reported the other day that she was going to be out without a timetable, and that's why I kind of wanted to get in on with Chicago Sky. I do think that they are going to be able to win the game and cover the spread in this spot. So let me just double check something real quick. I want to make sure I got these numbers right, because I feel like the Valkyries numbers may have gotten a little bit better recently. I think I updated these. Let me just double check. So 10, 4, 7, and 13. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So the Valkyries numbers are right, and the Chicago Skies numbers are 12, 12, 12, and 10. Okay, that's right as well. All right, I just want to double check that real quick. All right, so on the Valkyrie side of things, I think injury report is about still the same. Nobody got hurt in that last game. They should have everybody outside of Monique Billings here, and of course, no Kayla Thornton. All right, so first thing I think we look at is the standings. Right, Golden State has won 3 in a row. They've moved themselves from 8th to 7th in the playoff picture, but they're also only a game and a half ahead of Seattle. And only 2 games ahead of the Los Angeles Sparks. So the Golden State Valkyries still got a ton to play for in a tightly contested, standings, as we have about I think it's about maybe 12 games left. Most teams have about 11, 12 games left. Chicago has nothing to play for. They're 8-24. They've lost 3 straight. They've lost 9 of their last 10 outside of beating the Washington Mystics the day that Brittany Sykes got traded, which I'm still not sure if that's like an excuse, but I guess we can kind of give them a pass for that. The Valkyries have done really, really well against Chicago. I said this on the show yesterday. I said I've tried to take teams in bounce back spots, not even necessarily bounce back spots. I've taken teams in bounce back spots because you kind of project them to do better, but also played a lot of revenge spots this season. One of the reasons why I'm down so many units, not so many units, but why I'm not positive for the season is because I keep thinking teams are going to bounce back. I don't think that the Chicago Sky are going to bounce back. So what I've been doing recently, and I talked about this in the last game as well, the Valkyries were playing against the Mystics, and I said I like the Valkyries in that game because the Mystics were, I think I said 2-7 against the spread when they had a chance to get revenge this season. So teams are just not getting revenge. The better team are winning the games, and I know it looks simple sometimes, but simple has been, winning most of the time this season. So this is a double revenge spot for the Chicago Sky here. They lost the first game by 5. They lost this, and that game was in Golden State. Then they lost the second game by 7, and that was with Chicago Sky. That was with the Valkyries on the second leg of a back-to-back. Very, very shortly. I think very, very recently. I think like less than 2 weeks ago. You look at this Valkyries team. They've quietly They've quietly covered 7 of their last 10 games. On the other side, Chicago continues to be a free-falling knife that you absolutely do not want to catch after losing to, the league's worst Connecticut Sun last night. I think I mentioned it already. Sky just 1-9 in their last 10 games. And without Angel Reese having the timetable to return, really just don't want to go near them. Don't want nothing to do with them. I don't care if they're at home. I don't care if they're on the road. Real quick, if we put some numbers to that, without Angel Reese on the floor this season, this team they're a -13 with Angel Reese on the floor and a -13 with Angel Reese off the floor. But everybody knows that with her on the floor, last 7, 8, 9, 10 games, they were a lot better than I guess a -20 before, things got a little bit better for them. So I just think that Golden State got enough. They should be motivated enough. And like I said, they played really, really well against teams that they've beaten already this season. Shout out to Natalie Nakase. Golden State 7-3 straight up, 8-2 against the spread if they're facing the team that they've already beaten this season. They've covered the last 4 in this spot as well. And the last one was that Mystics game. So I think they are the right side. I got the number before it moved a little bit though. I think they can win and cover. I just think, looking at Chicago's offense, it's really, really struggled a lot. And I'll give you guys some numbers on that in just a second. But if we flip it and we look at the Sky in revenge spots, they're 3-13 straight up, 5-11 against the spread. They've already lost when they're playing teams that they've already lost this season. And they're 1-7 straight up and against the spread as home dogs when the total is below 161. The last 5 games for Chicago, they're 13th. So they're the worst offensive rated team. They're averaging the fewest points at 68.4 per game. The worst net rated team at -14.3. And they're playing at the second slowest pace. The only team playing slower is the Valkyries at 88 possessions per game. Chicago's averaging 90 possessions per game. So it's not even that this guy's defense has necessarily been that bad. They just can't score the basketball. They're actually 6th in defensive rating, 5th in points allowed per game over the last 5 games. Like I said, just not really getting a lot of stops. So I did bet the Golden State Valkyries in this spot, but I did get a little bit of a better number. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Freesaw says he's laddering. He's laddering Xander Sealy in this one. It'll be her or, the thing about the Valkyries is they shoot so many threes, man. Like they take the most above the break threes in the WNBA at 26 per game. They make the most at 8.6. And they're actually starting to shoot it a little bit. Well, this is overall. This is above the break three specifically. They're not that bad. 36.6%. And the Chicago Sky, for the full season, the worst 3-point defense in the WNBA against above the break three. But last 5 games, they're actually third at 29.7. So teams, I think, are just missing, honestly. And I think they're taking advantage of getting to the rim, too. So, a full season numbers, though, like overall 3-point shooting, Sky the second worst 3-point defense, allowing teams to shoot north of 36%. And it's not like the Valkyries are lights out because they shoot the third worst percentage, but last 5 games, they're actually 6, shooting about 35%. So they should be able to get hot in this game. Mark says Valks for him. Freestyle says Sky dead last, defending above the break 3 last 5 games. Xander Sealy is shoots 73% of her shots from the above the break. Make a lot of sense. Merlin says, don't do it with the Sky, Chris. I'm not. Justin Believe I'm not. Mark says, I think I play my last Sky play this past weekend. Yeah, I don't want nothing to do with him, man. Nothing to do with him at all. Brian says Golden State first half. They've been balling out on the defense, Chicago under. What do you think? Yeah, I mean, I think a Chicago team total, even though this is like one of the lowest total, I feel like the books be trying to trap you with these super low totals. Like we just saw this in the last game, right? The Mystics, had a super low total, and both teams end up getting to 80. We know that for whatever reason, the Valkyries defense is a lot better at home than it is on the road. Chicago's team total is 72.5. That's a super low number. And it's probably going to be 71 when it opens on most books. I see FanDuel got a 71.5 right now, but Bet365 got a 72.5 juice to the under at minus 120. I just told you guys, what did I say? I said Chicago's averaging 68 points per game in their last 5. And the Golden State Valkyries are allowing the second fewest points on the full season and the last 5 games, but they're giving up 77 per game. So last 10 games, they're number 1 in points allowed. They're number 4 in defensive rating last 5 games. And both of these teams do play super slow. So maybe even a Chicago first half team total under, even though Chicago, when they wet the bed, is typically in the third quarter. So we'll see, man. I just, that with a number being that low, I don't necessarily want to be there. Like, I don't want to be on it, if I'm being honest. Chicago 0-9 ATS in revenge games this year, Ron says. Freesaw says he likes under 150 as well. Mark says prefer when they're underdogs, but this is us, this guy. Yeah, I agree. I do agree with everything that Mark just said. Freesaw says I do like Chicago first quarter plus 2.5 though. Thinking maybe they come out at least show some heart in the first quarter and then get smoked. Nally says this is a live betting game. I kind of feel like the Sky will cover and or win after the ejections in the last game. This team puts in an effort. The over may be a good look also. Sky first half plus 3.5. I do think the total's a tad bit too low. Like, all right, so if we look at it, right, the last 5 games for the Chicago Sky have averaged 6, 7, carry a 147 points. So that's kind of like very close. And then the Valkyries last 5 games that have averaged 9, 3, carry a 150. 153. So 153 and 147. And that's about right where the total is, 150. Book's not going to give you anything free, man. Nothing ever going to be free. And these are 2 of the slower paced teams. I just can't quite get there with a super, not 150. That's a little too low. Charlie says Janelle or Ariel 15. What do you think? I mean, I don't think that the Valkyries got anybody in their team that's gonna fire up Ariel Atkins like Bria Hartley did in that last game. So I could see it. Like I could see Ariel 15 points. I do think, and we know, right? If you're gonna beat the Valkyries, you're gonna have to be a team that can knock down some shots from the perimeter. And I feel like a lot of teams that they play against, there's not a lot of great shooters in the WNBA, in my opinion. Not players that can like really put it on the floor. Ariel Atkins If she get hot, I think she's still leading scorer for this team too. If Ariel Atkins gets hot, she can absolutely go out there and get you 15. Valkyrie's not gonna let you score in the paint. The shooters can actually, if you got a chance to watch the game last night when Sonia Citron got hot in the fourth quarter, that's when they made it a game and kind of cut the lead a little bit. But they're gonna deny you from scoring in the paint. So Cardosa could be hard for Cardosa tomorrow. Freesaw says, yeah, they came out. Cardosa going get her stats first quarter, didn't do nothing, did not do anything else. What up, for real? Appreciate you for tapping in, man. He says, I don't trust the Sky with 10 points. They will come up missing in quarters. Yeah, they absolutely do. Typically, it's that third quarter for the Sky too, man. It's typically the third quarter for the Chicago Sky. Let's see real quick. If we look at this season, team equals Sky, and let's just look at them after the All-Star break. 1-9 straight up, 1-9 against the spread, losing by an average of 15.4 points per game. They are minus half a point in the first quarter. They lose the second quarter by an average of 5.7. They lose the third quarter by an average of 5.4. They lose the fourth quarter by an average of 3.8. So yeah, it's that first quarter. I think somebody mentioned it, but yeah, it's that first quarter for sure. And they've lost their last few games by 9 to the Sun, 22 to the Fever, 21 to the Dream. They beat the Mystics by 14, 16-point loss to the Mercury, 7-point loss to the Valkyries, 17-point loss. That was with the Valkyries with no rest. 17-point loss to the Mystics, 15-point loss to the Fever, 38-point loss to the Storm, and a 23-point loss to the Lynx. So we shall see what happens tomorrow. Venegra says, Kai Kilya slip. Cardosa is banned. Not messing with her. Could definitely be a Bantam spot. Rachel Bantam she got the ultra green light as well. Like I said, if the Valkyries got any kind of an Achilles heel, it's their ability to give up 3-point shots. All right, let's move over to Mystics and Fever. So this line had come down to 7.5, and now it looks like it's back up to 8.5, and the total has dropped to 161. So let's see, 8.5, 161. That's right? Yeah, 161 and a half. I do see a 162. I see 161 and a half and 162. All right, so looking at this game, and these numbers are updated as well. Injury report, Shakir Austin out for the Washington Mystics. I think they'll have everybody else. And then on Indiana Fever side of things, of course, they're missing all 3 point guards. No Caitlin Clark, no Ari McDonald, and no Sid Colston, who are last two done for the season. But they did sign Odyssey Sims. She didn't look great in that game, but it was her first time playing with the team. So the question you kind of got to ask yourself, is it a bounce back spot for the Fever? It's a couple things that make you want to say yes. First of all, they are like a decent team at the crib. They're 10-7 against the number at home. They've also played this will be their third straight home game, so they haven't had to travel any. Coming off losses a favorite, so maybe it's a little bit of a bounce back spot after losing to the Wings. And they got a 1-day rest advantage because the Mystics played yesterday. They haven't played in two. I think they had 2 days off. And then on the opposite side of things, like you start looking at the standings in Washington, they're 1 game behind the Sparks for 9th. But more importantly, they're 1.5 games behind the Seattle Storm for 8th. But the problem is Washington hasn't looked good at all recently. They won 3 of their last 10 games. They're trading away, they traded away their veteran leader in Brittany Sykes, which she looks terrible in Seattle. And they also traded away Aaliyah Edwards. On the opposite side of things, the Fever have a lot to play for. They're currently in the 6th spot in the entire league, but they're also just 2 games behind the Phoenix Mercury, who are in the 4th seed, aka 4th seed, aka the last seed that would have home court advantage when the playoffs start. Indy has a pretty big home court advantage, in my opinion, with just Caitlin Clark fans, and overall, I think Indy has probably a bigger fan base than anybody right now. So home court, in my opinion, would be something that I think, this coaching staff would look at and say, okay, we need to make sure we're winning these games. Does that mean they have to cover? I don't really think so. This is the 3rd meeting of the season. Washington did. They won. and covered as a 4-point home dog in the first matchup. And then they lost by 9 in Indy as a 5-point road dog. So they didn't cover that second game, didn't win that second game. The Mystics are 8-8 against the spread in their 16 road games so far this season. Just kind of Jekyll and Hyde team. They've won 3 of their last 10 games. I think I mentioned that already. Or 3 of their last 10 games since the All-Star break. They're kind of like free fell. Like, though, even the wins that the Mystics got since the All-Star break came against the Storm. They beat the Sky and they beat the Wings. So none of those teams, like the Storm, I guess, kind of impressive, but the Storm was scoring like 50 points per game. They couldn't score the basketball back then. This was like 3 weeks ago. And I just don't know how impressive it is to beat the Sky and the Wings. Like, that is not impressive to me at all. I kind of think that they're cooked. I kind of think that they're looking towards the future. I said this the last game when they were playing against the Valkyries last night. I just don't see a lot. Like not like they're a bad team, but also not calling them a good team. I just don't think the offense is consistent enough. I think it's a lot of young players trying to figure it out. I think the Mystics are cool with missing the playoffs. Like, I think the Fever can win this game. Do I think that they're going to win by margin? I'm not sure if it'll be 9. So I say all that to say that I still think the Mystics will come out and fight. I do think not 8.5 points is too many. Fever can blow the Mystics out, in my opinion, especially without Shakira Austin being there. But I don't want to put my money on the Fever being there. I saw them play really, really terrible against the Dallas Wings team. And the Mystics just beat the Wings in their last game, their last win. So I couldn't quite get there on anything in this game. Indy is just 5-7 against the number as a home favorite this season. They're also just 3-6 if they land, more than 2 possessions, which they are in this game. And Washington just 5-4 ATS as a road dog of 2 possessions this season, 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 games in this spot. So I know it's a rest advantage for the Fever. I know it's a proverbial bounce back spot, but it's not a game that I necessarily want to play. I also considered total. I consider under. Both of the first 2 meetings were under the total at 165.5, 161.5. I do think the Fever are a team that plays super fast. We know. I think, they're third in pace. The Mystics play a little bit slower. Their offense also sucks at times. They're good for, a stinker of a quarter where they give you 9 or 10 or 11 or something like that. At Indy, I looked at them. They're 6-3 to the under as a home favorite of 5 points or more this season, including 5 of their last 6 games in this spot have actually stayed under the total. So I consider it under. I think the totals being at 161.5 are about, I don't know, they're about, like, it feels coin flippy to me. So I couldn't really get there with anything in this game. I think if I had to bet anything, though, I'd just take a small play on the Mystics plus the points, thinking that they could keep this game within the margin, but I don't really want them either. Maybe you guys got more thoughts than I do on this one, but gave you guys my thought process. Bro, let me say it's a bum fight. Brian kind of agree with me. So Washington plus 8.5 after that last Indy game, not laying points, and under for me. And I kind of agree with both of those. Natalie agrees. She says Mystics plus 8.5. Free Sauce, opposite side, says Fever minus 8.5 and lighted it up to minus 20. He says Fever going to survive for Caitlin Clark. Okay. Mark says Indy post game said they came out flat, low energy last game. Think they will come out focused and running. Yeah, I saw the YouTube video pop up, their post practice interview today, but I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, Mark. Appreciate you for sharing that, though. I need to listen to that a little more. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like it's a tricky one. Mark says he leans over. Brian says maybe Indy first quarter. If they come out focused. Will they come out focused, though? Will they come out focused? Let's look at the Fever real quick this season when they're coming off a loss as a favorite. 5-4 straight up, 5-4 against the spread. They're plus 1.4 in the first quarter. And it looks like they've alternated their last 4 in this spot. So loss and then beat the Wings by 12 and covered. But then they lost again after a win. No, after a loss, they lost again to the Valkyries. Then after a loss, they beat the Dream. And then after a loss, they lose to the Mercury. So I'm not sure. What about if they're at home? 4-3, 4-3, and 4-3. So not a lot to really go with the Fever off a loss. After the All-Star break, previous loss, they are 2-2 straight up, 2-2 against the spread, 3-1 to the under. Offensively, they stay under their team total 2 times, and defensively, they've held 2 opponents under their team total. I just feel like the Mystics not a team that's going to score a bunch of points. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Mystics kind of all over the place, man. It's actually making my hair hurt kind of even looking at their numbers. I was thinking about Mystics and road games with a total that's above 160. They are 5-2 to the under and 2-5 against the spread as well. They lose by about 5 points per game. These games average 155 points. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of lean towards the under. I just don't think of the Mystics as a team on the road that's going with offense. But at the same time, I feel like the Mystics without Shakira Austin, I can't imagine playing without Shakira Austin and Leah Edwards is a good thing. And I love Kiki Erickson. I think Kiki is amazing. But like I said, I kind of feel like they're just kind of wrapping it up, man. I think the season is about just developing Sonia Citron and Kiki Erickson at this point. JC Sheldon as well, getting her some rep. Let's see what the numbers look like with Shakira Austin off the floor. With Shakira Austin on the floor, they're actually a minus. Oh no, I'm tripping. Okay, Shakira Austin on the floor, they're minus 1.6. With Shakira Austin off the floor, they're minus 4. And the defense takes a big jump. So with her on the floor, they got a 99 defensive rating. With Shakira Austin off the floor, they got a 106 defensive rating. So if the Fever going to play fast, maybe they can score the basketball a little bit more. This scares me because I think if Shakira Austin isn't on the floor, the defense is going to be worse too. So I don't know. Everything kind of scares me in this spot. Everything kind of scares me. Mitchell points his best against my Mystics. Against my Mystics is the bet. Guards like Mitchell and Tiffany Hayes blow by our guards. Ben Negro says. Okay. Brian says with the Mystics, take out the first quarter. Yesterday, they win that game. I think they can keep it close. You can't just take out a quarter, though, Brian. That's the thing in the WNBA. You got to show up for all the quarters. Let's see. Luis says, last 6 players from above the break, including Sonia Citron, have gone on the under. That above the break 3 data regarding those their threes, them being soft is season long, not current form. So at least I got both. I actually got the way I have my spreadsheet set up. I have full season, last 10, and last 5. And that's what I was saying about Chicago defense. Chicago's 3-point defense has actually been a lot better. Last 5 games, they are number 3 against above the break 3, holding teams to 29%. Full season, teams are shooting 35%, which is the last in the WNBA. And I feel like Washington's been giving up a lot of threes too. Let's just double check. Yeah, Washington actually 10th in opponent 3-point percentage last 5 games, allowing teams to shoot 38% from the line. And above the break 3, they're allowing teams to shoot 37%. And they're 10th in that spot as well. And this is why Xander Sealy was lighting them up last night. And Tiffany Hayes and Veronica Burton hit a bunch of threes last night as well. So, yeah, let's see. What else y'all saying? Mike Live bet it. I agree with that. What up, Thomas? He says, whatever we think going to happen, bet the opposite. Oh, man. Brian says, yeah, it do feel that way. It do feel that way, man. All right, let's keep it moving. I'm not strongly opinionated on that game. Aces and Mercury. I kind of got an opinion on this one, man. Let's see. I didn't see anything as far as injury report goes for either team. So with the Mercury having, a couple of days off, they haven't played in a while. I would imagine that everybody would be out there for them tomorrow. And same thing for the Aces. Aces, should have everybody, ready to go as well. So you got this talk about this game. You got to look at the standings. Like the Aces are, and let me just double check the line, make sure it hasn't moved any. So it does look like the 4s are gone now. It's up to 4.5. So this open 4.5 is open 4. I'm sorry. It's up to, looks like some money came in on the Mercury and has pushed this to 4.5 now. And the total has actually moved up to 169. So this is the most intriguing part for me, the total moving to 169. So before you talk about this game and handicap it, you got to look at the standings because there's a lot going on in the WNBA right now. And this is the time where typically, if you know how situational spots and you've been watching the games, you know how to make some money in these spots. So for situationally, you look at the Aces. I always like to start with the road team. They've won 5 in a row. They've quietly won 7 of the last 8 games. For the first time all season, the Aces had not won 5 games all season. They hadn't won 7 of their 8 games. Had ever won 7 of 8 games on any stretch of the season. You could say that they're getting hot at the right time. They're 5th in the league, and just a game behind the 4th place opponent in this matchup, which is the Phoenix Mercury. And that's important because the Mercury right now, if the season was to end, would finish 4th. They would have the last home court advantage spot in the first round specifically. Now, the Mercury, on the other hand, they are in 4th and are just a game behind the Atlanta Dream for the 2nd seed, right? So it's Lynx, which nobody can catch the Lynx. I think the Lynx are 6 games above the Atlanta Dream, who are 2nd, and then the New York Liberty are right behind them, and then right behind them are the Phoenix Mercury. So it's a lot for both teams to play for in this game. This is the 3rd matchup of the season. Phoenix won the first one in Vegas. They beat them 76-70 earlier this season in a game that was missing Asia Wilson. DeWanna Bonner, of course, wasn't on the Phoenix Mercury yet. She was in Indiana. And then the Aces went into Phoenix. And I vividly remember this one because I was on the Mercury thinking that they were going to blow the Aces out. Aces looked like absolute trash. And the Aces went in there as a 6-point dog in Phoenix, where the X Factor lives, and beat this team outright 84-81 as a 6-point dog. In the Mercury last game, I bet them. They were in a double revenge spot at the crib. I think they had the rest advantage. Everything seemed to be going perfect in their favor. They had won, I think, 3 games in a row as well. Covered all the spreads, and Atlanta Dream put the smackdown on them. Took my money. Said I was done betting against Atlanta. Probably should have bet Atlanta last night. I did not. But yeah, that's a different story. Anyway, the Aces, getting back to the handicap, Aces are, if you handicap the Aces for the full season, they have not done that great. They've been about average as far as on the road. 8-9 straight up, 8-9 against the spread on the road. They've played significant advantage in this game is the Mercury, is that the Aces have played 3 games since last Friday. Granted, all 3 of them have been at home. And granted, they've been against easy opponents outside of the Liberty. Liberty not an easy opponent, but they did catch the Liberty on the second leg of a back-to-back. Caught them slipping last night on the second leg of a back-to-back. Now, the Mercury have a 3-day rest advantage. And the Mercury are, even though they lost to Atlanta, got to give Atlanta some credit. The Mercury are a really good home team. They're still 10-6 against the spread at home. They haven't played since Sunday, so they're super rested in the spot. 3 days of rest advantage. We talked about that. And they lost to Atlanta by 8 after winning and covering 3 straight, like I said. So even though the Aces have been playing a lot better, and I don't necessarily want to fade the Aces in this spot, I also don't want to take the Mercury. I'm not sure who the real Mercury are. I think the Aces have clearly figured something out. It feels like they're already in playoff form. And I don't necessarily want the Mercury, man. Like, I just kind of feel like the Mercury, like, they're going to have to show me. That's how I kind of feel about the Mercury. So I know it's a terrible spot for the Aces, so I probably won't bet them. But we've seen, in my opinion, the Aces team that wasn't as good as this one that's coming in tomorrow, that's going to be at a rest disadvantage. We've seen this team already come into Phoenix and beat this Mercury team with a fully healthy roster. They had Kalia Copper, they had Satu Sabli, they had all of the things that you need to have, and just weren't able to get the job done last time against the Aces. They also weren't able to get the job done in their last game. So I don't necessarily just want to play them because they got the rest advantage. Like, all right, cool, you got the rest advantage. So what? Like, show me something else. What does that mean? Does that mean you're gonna win and cover the spread just because you got the rest advantage? In my opinion, no. So I'm not just gonna bet the Phoenix Mercury because they got the rest advantage. I think I don't know, man. Ace is kind of putting it together. I feel like with Nalissa Smith there, they're a better rebounding team, and Joe Lloyd coming off the bench. She's been a big spark to that bench. Dana Evans is someone that can play defense and really guard her woman. So yeah, I don't want to do it, man. I don't want to do it. As far as the total goes, I feel like the Aces are playing a little bit more defense recently. And another thing I want to talk about real quick, I know that the Dream are a really good defensive team, but Satu can't go 3 for 12 from the field, 1 for 6 from the 3-point line, and have 7 points. Like, it's unacceptable. ChrisBeCappinn can't go 3 for 14 from the field, 0 for 4 from the 3-point line, finish with 9 points. You're the Phoenix Mercury. You got a big three, like one of the best big threes in the WNBA. You can't combine ChrisBeCappinn and Satu Sabally for 16 points on 6 for 26 shooting. Like, that just can't happen. 1 for 10 from the 3-point line. Like, you literally cannot have it happen. Just have, Alyssa Thomas out there doing all the work by herself, and DeWanna Bonner coming off the bench, getting more points than Satu Sabally and ChrisBeCappinn together. Like, I don't know, man. I just don't want to bet the Mercury right now. I don't want to bet the Mercury. I know that they typically play better at home. The other point I was making was, I think that was it. Oh, I wanted to shift to the total. So I actually leaned under, got all my notes for the under at 166.5, which is what I saw this open at. And now it's actually on the move north. This is up to 169 now. And I think that's where I want to get in at. Like, I'll watch it and monitor it throughout the night to see if it continues to go up. Maybe it shoots up to 170 for tomorrow. But I mean, Phoenix offense, in my opinion, is a bit overvalued. Like, I kind of think that if you look at the Mercury's offense recently, first of all, in the full season, they're under team, 17-14 to the under on the season. But even just in their last few games, like, I know they were playing against a really tough Atlanta Dream defense. They went 19 points under their team total. Full game went under. Against the Fever, they held the Fever to 24 points under their team total. That game went under. Against the Sun, 11 points under their team total. That game went under. Against the Sky, held 5.5 points under their team total. That game went under. Against the Dream again, 14 points under their team total. That game went under. So 4 of their last 5 games have stayed under the total. 5, 6, 7. 7 of their last 10, they've actually stayed under the total. And if we just look at them after the All-Star break, they are 7-2 to the under. Games are averaging 162 points. I also looked at I just think the playoff implications. Like, I think that's another reason to look under. Both times that the Aces and Mercury have played this season, those games have stayed under. 164 in the first one, 168 in the second one. Last game got to 165. Phoenix has played in 4 straight unders. Phoenix has played 5 of their last Phoenix last 5 games have totaled 140 points against Chicago, 148 against Connecticut, 155 against Indiana, 140 against Atlanta. Either their defense shows up and they slow the other team down, they win the game, or their offense doesn't show up. Phoenix is also 5-2 to the under in revenge games this season, including 4 straight unders. Each one standing under the current total of 166.5, now up to 169. Aces are also 4-2 to the under this season as a road dog. So I kind of think, one thing's going to show up. Like, we just need one of these teams not to show up, especially with a super high total like this. Offensively, one of the offenses not to show up. I like under. Stay away from the spread. That's my thought process. Let's see what you guys are thinking. We'll move over to the next one. Let's see. Freestyle says, liking Howard under her 18.5 points plus rebounds. For some reason, she's a road warrior. She's under the line in 59% of her games at home, averaging 17 points plus rebounds. Had 8 points and rebounds last game against the Mystics on June the 3rd. Okay. I can see that. Free sauce. Prolific says, kind of liking Aces making the push. Lean Aces on the money line. Brian says, Aces are killing. I'm going to ride that plus 4.5. Nally says, the Aces finally turned up. I'd rather have my money on the Aces plus 4.5. Love the over 169, Aces plus 4.5. So me and Nally thinking different on the total. Mark says he agrees with Nayeli. Brian says 169. I like the under. Yeah, I think these totals at the end of the season, man, we about to start seeing some playoff type basketball. Real quick, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna talk to you guys about the Aces defense as of late. And I do wanna like, I think you can always, go tick for tack, right? So the Aces haven't played necessarily the most difficult schedule, right? Since the All-Star break, they're 8-3 straight up, 7-4 against the spread. They beat the Liberty, but you could say that they caught the Liberty slipping. There was double revenge spot as well. Before that, they beat the Sun, They beat the Storm, which everybody's doing. They do got 2 really good wins in here against the Valkyries. They got absolutely annihilated by the Lynx, lost that game by 53. And then they also, before that, they beat the Sparks. They beat the Wings. Before that, they got annihilated by the Lynx again. And then they lost to the Fever and they beat the Dream. So, I mean, we kind of got to start, putting a little respect on the Aces. And what's crazy is the Aces stink so bad the whole season. You look up at the standings and they're like in 5th spot. And you're like, what? They still got a chance to get home court advantage? They absolutely do. Because you got the Storm absolutely free falling, just landing flat on their face. Indiana out here losing to Dallas. Hit the like button for me while you can. I need some water. New York going through their ups and downs without Stewie, losing more games than they typically do. Phoenix very inconsistent as well. Kind of, winning one, losing one, winning one, losing one. Aces kind of Becky. I don't know what Becky Hammond got them doing out there. It also helps when you get the Storm and the Sun, and then you catch the Liberty on the second leg of a back-to-back, and all games at home too. They have played 5 of their last 6 games at the crib. So yeah, that helps. And when you go on the road and you play the Sparks and the Wings, that also helps. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about the Mercury right now. That's the thing for me. I like under though. 1 bad quarter is all we need, Brian. I agree. Now at least it's plus. I feel like something is going on with the Mercury in the locker room or something. Since Bonner came over, something has been off. I kind of agree with that. Never work with your significant other. And I kind of agree with that too. For real, says Aces +4. Aces are playing with more intensity and as a unit. I agree, man. They showed me they could have rolled over last game. Like, I fell asleep last night. Full transparency, I fell asleep in the 3rd quarter, and the Aces were losing. And I had Aces money line. Aces were losing, and I woke up this morning. And if you guys got Bet365, you can turn your notification on. They'll let you know if your bet won. I woke up this morning and saw I won. And I was like, oh, okay, bet. It was a great start to my morning at 5:30. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. So I woke up this morning. I typically, if I fall asleep on a game, I wake up in the morning and I'll get on the Peloton, I'll run, and I'll go back and watch the game in the workout room, like on YouTube TV. So that's what I did this morning. And I'm yelling at the TV because I already know what happened. But yeah, I went back and watched the game, watched the 4th quarter anyway. And so, the Aces defense really turned up. And you could say that the Liberty offense just kind of slowed down. I think they scored like 14 points in the 4th quarter. But they were on the second leg of a back-to-back. Now the Aces at the rest disadvantage. And it's a significant rest disadvantage as well. So we shall see, man. 1 day is the 4. Mercury need a win in the worst possible way. I still can't put my money on them. Let's see. Riding with the Aces, Edwin says. Brian says last season's the ref let the women of the W beat the crap out of each other before they blew a whistle. Yeah, last night I was watching the game this morning, watching the rerun of the game, and man, they was sending the Aces. I don't know how many free throws the Aces got, but I felt like they were shooting free throws every time I looked up. Like, I felt like the Liberty got it. I know they were, maybe a step slow. You're always gonna be a little bit of a step slow when you on the second leg of a back-to-back and your last game was against the Sparks and you scored 100 points. Like, I didn't expect the offense to slow down a little bit, but the Aces were like, I feel like they won the rebounding battle. Let me just double check. I feel like they won the rebounding battle. Yeah, Aces were a +9 on the glass. They were +8 on the offensive glass, and they shot 12 more free throws. Yeah, 28-16. That's what I saw. I'm watching the game. I'm like, the Aces shooting a ton of free throws. Yeah, and they shot 82% from the free throw line, won the game by 6. So yeah. Mark says Hammond seems more engaged as well. Free Satu DT says. Brian says all the Aces love doing. All the Aces love definitely gonna lay an egg for us. So, oh boy, I don't think I'm gonna bet it though. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, man. Mark says Liv's tire leg showed up in the 4th quarter, and I agree with that. Liberty Aces dream Lynx make semifinals this year. Nolly says. Free Sauce says he'll play AT to get that triple double. Hit 3 of the last 4 games. She's doing her motherfucking thing out here every game. She absolutely is, man. She said, you know what, Satu and Khalil Copper, if y'all want to come play, don't worry. I'll put the team on my back. All right, let's go to the last one. One more game. We got the Seattle Storm and the Atlanta Dream. I think this line has moved just a little bit and pushed this to 3.5 now. Let's just double check it real quick. Yeah, two. I'm sorry, 2.5. 2.5, and total is 160.5. So little bit more money coming in on the dream in this spot. And I mean, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't money come in? Seattle is an absolute shell of themselves. I will tell you guys from an injury report perspective, I woke after I watched the fourth quarter of the Aces game. I went and watched. I didn't watch this game pretty much at all. I watched like a little bit of the first quarter and then into the second quarter, and then at halftime, I like didn't turn this back on anymore. So I watched the second half of this game, and really the whole game. I started from the beginning. I watched this whole game, especially because I knew they were going to play each other again. And I saw Brittany Griner, like it wasn't reported from Underdog, but Brittany Griner did lead the game. About 5 minutes left in the third. She did come back. It was a lower leg injury. She finished the game. She did come off the bench yesterday as well. When you got Naz Hillman playing the way that she's playing, like it really doesn't matter. Like Naz Hillman's averaging a double-double. Like she's absolutely hooping. They could continue to bring Brittany Griner off the bench. But I do kind of feel like Brittany Griner is going to be needed because Nneka was hooping yesterday. And it almost felt like Noelle Quinn, like I get Nneka's the best player on the team, but it kind of felt like they were forcing the ball to her like she was Shaq. And like Atlanta didn't have bigs to, throw at her. It feels like Malunga's still in a lot of Ezzy Magmagor's minutes, and Seattle's continuing to free fall. Their playoff hopes are currently getting CPR right now. They've lost 6 in a row, which has dropped them from like 4th in the standings all the way down to 8th in the standings. They're currently in the last playoff spot. They had actually lost 5 straight games by 4 points or less. That was actually the longest active streak in the WNBA in WNBA history until they lost last night by 10 to Atlanta in their last game. These two teams, of course, just played in Seattle. Seattle took all the money because they opened as a 1-point dog. Their line flipped all the way to 3.5, only for them to lose the game by 10. And that was without Jordan Canada. Jordan Canada will miss this game tomorrow as well. I think she's going to be reevaluated in about 2 weeks. You look at this dream team. I told you guys in the Seattle game, it seemed like a Seattle spot. Atlanta was in the last game of a road trip, so that's their first game back home. But I don't care what kind of spot it is. I'm not betting against Atlanta right now. They won 6 straight. They won 8 of their last 10. They currently hold a half game lead over the New York Liberty. After the New York Liberty lost to the Aces last night for the second spot in the playoff season. So it's huge implications for both of these teams as well. The Dream are 8-2 straight up in their last 10 games, which is the best in the WNBA, behind only the Minnesota Lynx, who are 9-1 in their last 10. Head-to-head wise, this is the third meeting. This is the fourth meeting. Atlanta has won 2 of the 3 meetings so far. They've covered 7 of the last 10 spreads, dating all the way back to 3 years ago. So Atlanta plays well when they see Seattle, and it doesn't matter who's on the team, who's not on the team. Seattle, if there's any kind of like glimpse of hope for Seattle, it is that they're 9-7 against the spread on the road. They've been a better road team than they've been home team. But Noelle Quinn, I think she got to eventually get fired, man. I feel like she's losing the locker room. I feel like the rotations that she's throwing out there are not working. Brittany Sykes looks like I wouldn't say lost a step. She just is so inefficient right now. She missed some bunnies. Yes, absolutely she did. But like I know she had that big game against the Sparks, but everybody's having a good game against the Sparks. Like she just kind of showed up and it feels like she's like dominating the offense and like, I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of slowing down like Gabby and it's, throwing Erica Wheeler off a little bit. I don't really want anything to do with Seattle. Like I said, they've lost 7 of the last 10 games, 6 straight. And the Dream, 10-4 straight up at the crib. They are 8-6 against the number. They've won 8 of their last 10, covered 7 of the last 10. They are returning home after a 3-game Western Conference road trip. Typically could be a flat spot, but they've won 6 straight games and 3 as a dog in that span. And they've played 7 of their last 10 games on the road as well. So it's not necessarily the greatest spot for the Dream, but with all that they got, all the Storm got going on, I don't want the Storm, man. I do not want the Storm. I think I would just bet Atlanta on the money line, thinking that they should be able to win this one again as well, especially being at home. You can get money line right now on Bet365 at -140. It's the best number. I see it all the way up to -150 on ESPN Bet. That's what I would play in this one. Don't really want to touch it. I also like going back and looking at the last game. If I was betting the total in this game, it's interesting because it's kind of hard to cap because Atlanta is a slow paced team, but they absolutely can be very efficient from the 3-point line. And the Seattle Storm are not the greatest 3-point defense. Atlanta likes to shoot a lot of threes. On the full season, they're 12th in pace, which you can see here. Last 5 games, they're 8th in pace. They are number 4 in points scored. They're number 4 in offensive rating as well. But they're also the number 1 defensive rated team in the last 5 games. Number 3 on the full season as well. So they're number 2 in net rating. They're plus 20.1 in their last 5 games. Like this team's absolutely hooping. They're winning by about 15 points per game over the last 5 games. On the full season, they're about a plus 6 as well. I can't do anything with the Storm right now. I absolutely can't do anything with the Storm right now. It's difficult to kind of cap as far as so one thing I wanted to check real quick, because I didn't look at the numbers yet, but I felt like watching this game this morning, there was a lot of missed shots by the Dream that they should have made, and Seattle missed some bunnies as well. I kind of think this game could go over. I know that the last one stayed under. It finished right at 160. I think this total was like 161. That's about where it is right now. So if we look at just like some of the team stats real quick, Atlanta shot. They did shoot 46% from the 3-point line, which is really good. Seattle shot just 35% from the 3-point line. Both teams shot less than 75% from the free throw line. I think Seattle, they could have potentially won the game. They hit those 6 free throws. That would have helped out a lot. But Atlanta dominated the boards yet again. They're the best rebounding team, I think, in the WNBA. They were plus 16 on the boards. Let's see, fast break points, only 15 scored between both teams. I just kind of feel like Atlanta could do better, and I know Seattle could do better. Seattle didn't get a lot of anything from anybody, in my opinion. Skylar had 7 points on 3 for 9 shooting. Brittany Sykes shot 2 for 10 from the field, only had 7 points. As he missed 3 free throws, like I just feel like there's a lot more room, and I feel like both teams, especially Seattle, they should want to get out and run a little bit more so that they're not playing against a set defense for Atlanta. But that's my thought process. I guess I would lean over in this one before I would want to play under. And I don't want anything to do with the Seattle Storm. It would only be Atlanta Dream, especially having Ryan Howard back. And it's just a plug and play team, man. Like Nia Coffey and Brittany Griner coming off the bench now. Shatori Walker-Kimbrough can have great games. You got Tahina Powell, who is absolutely amazing, filling in for Jordan Canada. Like Naz Hillman out there stretching the floor, shooting threes. Seems super easy, but I can't take the Sparks right now. The desperation spot was the last game for Seattle, in my opinion. Let's see what you guys are saying here, and then we'll get ready to jump off of here. Links when the Chipmark says, I said Liberty, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I see the links. I know I know Mark probably done looked at the line already. I see the links were laying 1.5 because it is a standalone game on Saturday. I mean, links were laying 1.5 when I checked earlier this morning in that game on Saturday, and I think it's up to 2.5 on most books now. So line's starting to come out a few more books. It's up to 2.5 now. And what is that total? It wasn't available. Total was available earlier. It's still not available. Yeah, still no total available in that game. But yeah, I don't know. Mark says he agreed. Atlanta minus 130. He says Quinn, bless her heart. Nally says I dream my bet will cash. No problem. Minus 2.5. Yeah, this is played at a different arena, Mark. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's the Gateway Center Arena. That's what it is. I actually looked this up. Forgot what I saw. So it's College Park, which I thought was the original arena that they played at, but I guess I was wrong. It's a humongous building, though. I mean, I guess most arenas are, but yeah, it does say at Gateway Center. So we shall see, man. We shall see. Brian says he'll lay the 2.5. Teams going 2 entirely different directions. Free says he'll take Gabby Williams under 18.5 points, rebounds, assists. Sykes cut into her minutes. Absolutely, she has. Edwin says, I'm only riding with NECA Sykes pulling. Bro, she be jacking like it's her team. I tweeted about it the other day, like, wow. Brian says, I got hooked Wednesday with over 161. What a nightmare. Yeah, that 161.5. Yeah. I think this one can go over, though. I kind of do think it could go over. There's a little bit more work I wanted to do on the Atlanta side, like seeing how they do when they come home off a road trip. Matter of fact, I'll do it real quick right now. I did tell myself I wanted to look into that spot because I know the last time the Dream were coming home, they lost to the Valkyries. I remember that. They lost to the Valkyries. So Dream home off a road game, 3-3 straight up, 2-3-1 against the number. If they won the game, okay. So the Dream at home games where they're coming off a road win, 1-2 straight up, 1-2 against the spread, and they're 3-0 to the under. So this is the spot where the Dream offense struggles. They average 82 points per game, but 2 of these games they stayed under 80. They scored 95 against the Mercury in that most recent game, but against the Fever and the Valkyries earlier this season, they actually got to 76 and 75 points, and both of them games flew underneath the total. So, yes, it does make for an interesting spot. The Storm, when they're coming off a home loss and they go on the road, they're 1-1 straight up, 1-1 against the spread. So not a lot there. Let's see how the Dream do when they're playing against a team they already beat this season. 7-7 straight up, 5-9 against the spread. If they are at home, they're 4-3 straight up, 2-5 against the spread. They've won back-to-back. They've covered back-to-back. They beat the Mercury and the Mystics, beat them by 23 and 16. So if you're looking at recent form, they've done really, really well in this spot. Let's see how the Storm do when they're in the revenge spot this season. They are 6-4 straight up, 5-5 against the number. They've lost 3 straight. Lost to the Mystics, lost to the Fever, lost to the Sparks. So not done well at all. They've also played these games 4 of the last 5 and stayed under the total. So pump my brakes on the over. If they're on the road in the revenge spot, 2-3 straight up, 2-3 against the spread, 3-2 to the under. 3-2 to the over. But the games are averaging 156 points. So it's been some super low totals in this spot. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think I just take the Dream. Let's see what else y'all saying here. Nas Hillman. What up, David? Appreciate you for tapping in. Mark says curious to check out Seattle. Check out what Seattle does in the fourth quarter. Quinn seems to make poor decisions at the end of the game, in my opinion, and in both our opinion, Mark. I couldn't agree more with that. Definitely some questionable lineups. 3 threes for Xander Sealy and 3 threes for R. Who is R? Link's favorite, but Messerman is a huge factor. I agree. I still think the Liberty can get the job done. But I will say they didn't get Messerman, but they got Dejanay, and Dejanay is a dog, boy. It's so crazy how environment can change everything, right? It's kind of like when your kid is like, like he in a class with other kids that cut up. So he in there cutting up, right? Like he in there not getting his work done. Teacher sending you notes, he can't focus, blah, 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 blah. His grades dropping, that type of thing. All of a sudden, you put that kid in a different class. Oh, he making honor roll. You know what I mean? He doing everything he's supposed to. You don't get no more notes home, none of that. Like that. That's what Dejanay is on the Minnesota Lynx. Dejanay is absolutely back in her role. She looked like she back on Connecticut all over again. Because there's a certain standard that you play to when you play on the Lynx, and then there's a certain standard that you play to when you play on the Wings. The screen not big enough to separate the two, but just one of them way up here and the other one way down here. Yeah, that's a fact. Let's see what else y'all say. Definitely like Xander Sealy threes against the Sky. She's a real shooter. Yeah, her threes, I don't even think they came out yet, but Xander Sealy threes should be a pretty good look for tomorrow as well. Let's see if they're available real quick. Oh, they are out. 1.5. Minus 166 on FanDuel. So the line has got sniped already But I probably played a 3. She's gone over in 3 straight games. And she doesn't hit 2. She hits 3 or more. She's hit 3 or more in 3 straight games. She's hit 3 or more in 4 of her last 5 games as well. She hit 6 against the Mystics, 3 against the Sun, 4 against the Sparks, 3 against the Atlanta Dream. And the game that she went under was actually against the Aces. She shot 1 for 6. So the attempts are there. She shot 8 in last game. She shot 8 the game before that. She shot 6 the game before that. Against the Aces, she got up 6, even though she didn't make them. And then against the Atlanta Dream, she got up 5, and she hit 3 of them in that game as well. So, yeah, this makes a ton of sense, man. Let's just see her numbers real quick. This season, when she has taken 5 or more threes this season. Let's just look at that real quick. So 5 or more threes this season for Xander Sealy. And then I got to get off here. I feel like I've been on forever, man. This has been a while since I've done a live show, so I wanted to talk it up with y'all real quick, man. All right, so 5 plus threes. Yeah, Xander Sealy's in a good spot, man. Just take her to hit 3. So this season, when she shot 5 or more threes, which she has in 3 straight games, and 4 of her last 5. Actually, in 5 of her last 6 games, she shot 5 or more threes. She's over 1.5 threes, which is super juice, like I said. But she's over that number in 7 of her 8 games. The only game she went under was against the Aces. So, and she playing against the worst defense in the WNBA, the worst 3-point defense. They allow a lot. They allow teams to make a lot as well. So I agree with that. Legionnaire is an absolute dog. And David reminded people to hit the like button. Appreciate you, David. Definitely smash that like button for your boy. It helps out the algorithm for sure. Dude says, I got the Dream at -2. I like it. I saw him open -1.5. I just didn't know what was going on the injury report. And I don't know. Just kind of feel like a game I probably going to end up staying away from. Anyway, getting to the looks. I played LA -3. I played Golden State -4. Oh, I didn't put it on the screen. And I did not play, but I also lean towards the play that is not on here that I like that I didn't play that I like the most is that Aces and Phoenix game. I think that game goes under. Under 169. We'll see where the total goes. Maybe it continues to go up. I think I would lean Washington plus the points. Kind of don't want the fever, like not knowing what that offense is going to look like. And then of course, like I can't take Seattle, so it'd have to be Atlanta. Even again, I would still be taking Atlanta. Money line -140, -2. Probably just money line to play it safer. Yeah, I think that's it. It's a big slate tomorrow. Tons of ways to get paid, man. Whatever it is that you guys are betting, I hope you absolutely cash it. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me on a Thursday night, man. Enjoy your Friday. Use that link in the description to check out the plays that I make when I do make them. They'll be sent to the members. Resources are all here. Check out Outlier, Money Baller, Odds Jam, all them good things, man. And again, hit the like button for your boy on the way out, man. Turn the notification bell on. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, man. Like I said, enjoy your Thursday night. Enjoy your Friday as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next one, man.